I'm Emily Mashak, and you're listening to Tuned In to NoCo, Town Square Media's show that lets you know what matters in NoCo. I'm talking today with Amanda Smith, who is organizing Operation Veterans Blessing Veterans, and they're having a special Memorial Day event. So thank you so much for joining me, Amanda.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Now, before we get into the event, I want to talk a little bit about Operation Veterans Blessing Veterans. What is it, and how is it going?
So I went and bought this 79 Chevy to fix up for my husband, who is forced recon, served 8 years, and wanted to just give it to him for Father's Day. And the man that I bought it from was a vet, and his dad was Purple Heart recipient, Vietnam War, and he had passed away. And so we were just kind of talking, and I said, it would just mean so much more if, you drive this pickup around, Jed, after we get it fixed up and say, from one vet to another, thank you for your service. And he said, yeah, I'd love to do it. So that's how this all started.
That's awesome. And I know this pickup is a big part of the event. Tell me what's going on. What do people need to know?
Ryan Kirkpatrick with Showshine in detail, him and Evolve Graphics, Brandon, if they had a baby, this would be it. So they have been my right-hand man in all this. Ryan went down and got the pickup with me. Brandon has taken it in and fixing dents and wrapping it. And we are meeting at Evolve at 4 p.m., everyone who's going. And we are kind of creating like a patriotic parade of our pickups and Harleys and stuff, flying flags. And we're all going to drive down to this pickup down to Jed and surprise him.
That is so much fun. And now you touched on this a little bit with Evolve Graphic Solutions, but I know there's a lot of moving parts. A lot of people are helping this event come together. Mm-hmm. Would you be able to tell me more about them and how they all got involved?
Sure. I was at the gym, and Dave Tarver, he's our good buddy. He's a veteran. He is a custom builder, and he builds custom pole barn homes. And I was at the gym, and I was like, Dave, I don't know why Jesus has you surface in my heart, but I feel like I'm to give you a phone call, and told him what was going on. And he said, yeah, I'd love to be a part. We can have it here at my ranch, and we can get some food and just really make it cool. He goes, I have some veterans that work for me. We'll bring them out and just make it a good Memorial Day. And we chose Memorial Day because it's a day that is not a good day for our veterans, and it's a day that cripples my husband. He's not a crier; he's a tough guy, but there's times that if I walk out in the garage, I'll see him to his knees mourning the loss of his men and the men that. And so I just said, what better of a way would our fallen want to look down and see their brothers taking care of their brothers? They're not suffering in silence, and that this can be a time of hope instead of mourning. Yes, we mourn the loss and stuff, but that's not going to bring them back. What can we do right now in the present? And that's to prevent mourning the loss of our vets that take their lives. 22 take their lives a day.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is a really important cause, and I know our listeners appreciate hearing about it and hearing your perspective. Will the public be able to attend this event, or is it just a private thing for now that you hope to maybe bring to the public in the future?
I think that, for right now, we'll iron out. This is kind of a rough draft of what is to come, but this is kind of, when you go in and buy someone's Starbucks and you pay it forward and you buy the next person. And so Jed's a veteran that's getting blessed this Memorial Day. He'll be the vet that blesses another one and that vet, and it'll just be kind of tied. But, I was talking to Dave this morning, and this isn't a party. This is a celebration, of our men that came home and the men that didn't come home. So I think that in the future when we are able to, but we love all the veterans to come and families and stuff. So
that is so cool, and I can't wait to see where Operation Veterans Blessing Veterans goes in the future. I know that you and your husband and the community around you have a lot of familiarity with Memorial Day and what that means. What do you think listeners need to be more aware of when it comes to Memorial Day and our veterans?
I know that it's a 3-day weekend, and it's a lot of, you know, kind of misunderstanding what this is really about. And it's not about barbecues, and it's not about drinking and social, like we get a 3-day weekend and lose sight of what it's really about. And every Monday, me and my girls, it is not a fun day in our home, because, and so we always take flowers to the veterans memorial graves, or the sites and stuff. And I think that just to do that and honor them in some way, shape, or form, that we have the freedom to be where we're at and to do the things that we are doing because of those men that wrote a blank check and risked it all.
Well, thank you for sharing your perspective. I know it will be valuable to many of our listeners. And now I know it's new, you're getting it up and running, but is there a place that people can go to learn more about Operation Veterans Blessing Veterans, maybe a social media page?
Yeah, I started a Facebook page, Operation Veterans Blessing Veterans. And so every time you go into the military, it's always an operation. My husband was in Operation Desert Storm when, I don't know if you remember this, but back in like early 90s, they went in to capture Noriega in Panama. And they had killed 4 our SEALs and wounded 8, and the Marines went in and annihilated Panama, turned a casualty war and killed civilians, children, and all that stuff. Well, they have a protest every year around the embassy in Panama, and just cause because of what happened, the war, whatnot. And so this one year it got bad, and so Jed and his 2 teams got called in, and they were supposed to blend in with the civilians. So they come in Marines. My husband's a former Marine, Force Recon. Just their arrogance, you're just like, ugh. So they come in, they're supposed to blend in, right? So they come in on Zodiacs on the beach, dressed in OD green second chance vests in, civilian gear, and they're supposed to blend in. And so they're making their way towards their front, and then Jed gets stabbed through his second chance vest, and he has a scar wound right here. It's like right below his ribs that saved his life. So he's got some really cool stories, but different operations. So that's why it's named Operation Veterans Blessing Veterans.
Yeah, and Facebook, that's the place where it's best for people to learn about it?
Yeah, that's where I got started. It's just only a couple weeks new, so we are all in on this together.
Right. And speaking of all in this together, you mentioned a few people earlier, but do you want to give a thank you to some of the organizations who are helping you out with Operation Veterans Blessing Veterans and this event?
Ryan Kirkpatrick at Show Shine and Detail, Brandon and Madison over at Evolve, Alex with Platinum Auto Glass. He's Brandon's brother. He was in the Army. I believe he went in around 2011, so that was a hairy time as well. And then Harley Davidson at Thunder Mountain partnered with me, and I want to give a huge shout out to them. We just love them over there so much. And Dave Tarver with Custom Builders, he builds pole barn homes. And then my dad, he owns Laser Oilfield, Moon Excavation, Rocky Mountain Suspension, and Custom Offsets, where I got the wheels and tires from, and Howitzer. Howitzer is a military clothing line. They're owned by Affliction, but we just love them.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Amanda. It was great to learn about Operation Veterans Blessing Veterans, and I wish you the best of luck with the event.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Again, that was Amanda Smith, organizer of Operations Veterans Blessing Veterans, talking about their upcoming Memorial Week event. Learn more about the organization by visiting Operation Veterans Blessing Veterans on Facebook.